First, we'll take a strawberry and just slice it using our finger as a guard against the knife so we don't cut ourselves. And we'll also use blueberries and just cut them right in half. Then, when we have everything we need, we will begin to use the strawberries to decorate the cheesecake. And try to keep them in nice, even layers. And this may take you a couple minutes. And when you get finished putting your fruit on, you can use a glaze to cover it or just leave it this way. It's really up to you. There we go. Nice finished product.
Hi, I'm Danielle, and today we're going to be making a cherry cheesecake mousse. Our ingredients include a 12-ounce bag of frozen cherries, which you can actually use fresh cherries if they're in season, but today we're going to use frozen. We have 1 cup of whipping cream, a half a cup of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1.5 teaspoons of unflavored gelatin, and also baking chocolate, white chocolate. It's 4 little squares, and you just melt it. You can do a double boiler, it takes a little bit longer, or you can actually cheat and use the microwave, which is what I did. And also you're going to use an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, which you want to soften up and whip it up and get it nice and smooth, which is, I've already got that started. The first thing to do is we're going to actually chop up the cherries and put that all in there. Too short, but it'll work. You also want to make sure that these are pitted, otherwise with the processor you'll mess up the motor. So we're going to go ahead. And then you're going to put it and transfer it over into a saucepan. Set that there. And then you're going to add your gelatin. And you want to stir it in there. Try to get it as dissolved as much as possible. Kind of like that, so you can't really see it. Then you're going to want to put it on the stove and make it boil just for a little bit. It doesn't take long at all. And while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and start the cream cheese mixture. And you want to get that softened up, and then you're going to add your sugar in there and your vanilla and also the chocolate. Get that done. Now with white chocolate, you gotta be careful, because if you get it too cold, it's gonna turn back into a solid. Also, if you get it too hot, you're gonna get it back into a solid. It's a very tricky thing to do, to get it right to the proper consistency. Okay. And we're just gonna keep mixing that up. Turn that down just a little bit. And now we have, it's already boiling, and the gelatin's dissolved. Just want to stir it a little bit more. And then you're going to let it sit for a minute. Just kind of let it sit there, chill out. Continue your mixture. Get that down in there. Kind of get up underneath. Make sure you're getting everything mixed in there. Keep it going. Okay, and this is actually the consistency you want to get. Make sure the cream cheese is all mixed in there. Give it a, try to get everything off there. Might have to mix it just a little bit. Alright, then with the gelatin, you're going to actually have to refrigerate it for 45 minutes, which I've actually already done, is to go ahead and refrigerated it. So, it's my little cheat code here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your whipping cream in a separate bowl, and you're going to actually whip it until it starts to turn into a solid where the forms soft peaks. If you put it on high speed, it'll get done a lot faster. And with the whipping cream, you can add more, you can add less. It's totally up to you. If you add more, you're going to get a lot more of a foamier mousse. If you like that sort of thing, you can always add less. It's totally up to your choice. Alright. Let's stop. You're going to take this and add it to the cream cheese mixture. See, you want that kind of thick consistency there. Add that all in there. You don't want to mix it a whole lot because you don't want to lose all the air that created it, that thickness with the whipping cream. Go ahead and add that in there. Don't want to mix it a whole lot because you're going to have to mix it more with the cherries. Then you go ahead and add the cherries in there. Like that. You fold it in there. Like I said, don't mix it too much. Get the sides, make sure everything's mixed in there. That's pretty much what it's going to look like. You still want the chunks in there and stuff like that. And then you're going to want to refrigerate it for 3 hours, or at least until it sets and gets that form. And this is actually the final product here. You can serve it in a martini glass or a Z-stem, or you can put it in just a bowl and top it with a cherry, or you can actually add mint to it, or whatever you really want to top it with. You can put cinnamon in there, and that's pretty much it. Bon appetit.
My name is Laura and I am from Italy, as you can easily detect from my accent, but I'm not going to make any Italian dish today, but I'm more combining the Italian style with an American technique to make cookies, and this will be my product at the end. It's a fancy cookie, but my base is a simple sugar cookie. You can make your own recipe, or you can buy just something at the grocery store already made, and it bakes just in 15 minutes, and then you're ready to make your fancy cookies. I don't use royal icing to ice the cookies. I use fondant, which is sweet icing, and it's really, really sweet, so you need just a thin layer. So basically you roll the fondant, let's make a pink one. You can color the fondant with gel or liquid color, or you can even keep it white like these cookies. And here I used how do you call it? A special, the name is luster dust. It's a special painting. It's like painting. You need lemon extract and just mix some of the powder to make the cookie more fancy. It's really easy. Okay. We need some powdered sugar. Just try to warm a little the fondant in your hands and just roll like a cookie dough. But it has to be really thin because it's too sweet. But it will help you to make how do you say? It's less messy than royal icing. Will be perfect on your cookie. So, for example, we are making a dress now, and I will use the same cookie cutter that I used for the cookie to cut the fondant. So it will be perfect. And you need glue. So you need corn syrup, light one, and a brush. And just this will be your glue. Really easy. Will take 2 minutes to make one. And just the fondant has to be put on the cookie, and you need to press the edges to smooth. Possibly. And now I'm using royal icing to decorate the cookie, and basically you can make whatever you want. Can be a wedding dress or like I made here, if you make it white, and you can use tulle or bows, anything you want to make it fancier. I'm going to paint the cookie, so it will be shiny. And then I will use the icing on top. It will dry just in a few seconds because the lemon extract is alcoholic, so it will dry fast. And then I'm going to pipe all over the dress. And I can add a bow. Let's see, pink one. And just use dots, for example, in this case. And a little heart in the middle. And your cookie is done. And I'm making a snowflakes. Just pipe in the icing quickly with a simple design. And I'm going to add something to make it shine. I can just place the cookie here, and I'll just sprinkle to make it even more shiny. Use another one. And if you want to add something else, you can use dragée, even just one in the middle, and it's ready. And you can do party favors for wedding, for example. This is one that I already made with the initial of the couple, or you can make a fancy wedding hat or another kind of dress. Christmas ornaments. And that's it. You can enjoy, it's fun, it's easy, it's really, really quick, and everybody will love it.
My name is Amanda, and today I'm going to make a frittata with asparagus and tomatoes topped with feta cheese. We're going to put some chicken and some salsa with it. It should turn out really good. So I want to get started first off with some asparagus, and we're just going to pop that in a pan with a chunk of butter. Some oil. We're going to put that asparagus in here. We're going to let that asparagus sit for a minute. While we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started on our eggs. In here I've got 7 eggs, and I'm just going to add a dash of milk. That'll make it a little bit better. And we're going to add a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt to that. Get that all mixed up. It's a nice yellow color. As soon as we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and add tomatoes to our asparagus. Mix that up a little bit more. Now this just takes a few minutes for the tomatoes and the asparagus to warm up. And I want to tell you a little bit about a frittata. It's pretty much an Italian dish, and Italians eat this all day long, not just for breakfast as Americans would think of eggs just for breakfast. This is an all-day dish. So They make it in the mornings and they let it sit out all day. And what I'm going to do next is just make sure that there's an even layer of asparagus and tomatoes all across the pan. And I'm going to dump the eggs in. Now after you do this, you really want to make sure that the eggs cover the entire pan or it's not going to come out flat. After that, I'm just going to peel this away from the edges a little bit. Now you usually cook this over medium heat, but this is a pretty large pan, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it up a little bit. As soon as that sits there for a few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and pop it in the oven on 350 for about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more, just so the eggs get done on top. And we're going to go ahead and top that with a little more salt and pepper. And whenever you see these eggs start to pull away from the pan, that's whenever you know it's ready to go in the oven. And I can take my spatula and I can run it all the way across so it's ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and pop this in. And while that's in there, I'm going to mix up this salsa. Now this salsa is lemon flavored, but it's tomato, so it's a really good combination. And pretty much it's just another bowl of tomatoes. And we're going to dump that in with some yellow bell pepper. I got some freshly squeezed lemon juice, and fresh is always the best flavor, so you definitely want to use the fresh and not use the bottled kind. We're going to dump that on. And then I got some thinly sliced onions. And some freshly chopped garlic. Not a whole lot, just 1 clove. The good thing about this salsa is if your family doesn't like onions, then you just leave the onions out. And if your family doesn't like tomatoes, then you just use a little bit more peppers. It's very versatile. You can do pretty much whatever you want with it. And to that, we're going to add the same thing, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and some oregano. Adds a really good flavor to it. So we're going to mix that all up. And since I have a frittata over here that's already finished, I'm going to go ahead and use this one just to show you how to finish this all up. This is a frittata done. I topped it with feta cheese. Feta cheese doesn't always come with seasonings in it. Sometimes it comes plain, so it's however you like it. You can pretty much top it with what you want. And I got some grilled chicken, just a plain piece of grilled chicken, and we're going to go ahead and slide that on top. And on top of that, we're going to add some salsa. And as soon as that is finished, it's ready to serve.
This is Amber, and I'm going to teach you how to make a simple fruit pizza, which is basically sugar cookie dough crust, like this, with some simple buttercream icing, which you can find a recipe in any cake decorating book. It's sturdy, yet it tastes really good, and it's a good base to put fruit. And what we're going to do is we're just going to slice up some strawberries. First, we want to put on some gloves, because we're working with the customer-ready product. So you just take some strawberries, you want to rinse them and cut off the stems and the top part, so you just have this prettiness right there. And you're going to slice them into little itty-bitty slices, like this. And so they got nice little ones like that. And We have some sliced right here, so we don't have to worry about slicing all these up. And then for your kiwi, you're gonna peel it, which I know a lot of people don't know how to peel a kiwi, so I'm gonna teach you how. Basically, this is a kiwi. It's this little ugly brown fuzzy fruit, and it tastes really good though. It's green on the inside, great color, especially for this time of year. And you just wanna cut off the ends so you can expose the fruit. And then you wanna peel the brown icky part off. So once again, you expose the fruit. And end product, voila. Oranges, a lot of people know how to peel an orange. So you just wanna, however you wanna peel it, you can peel off, you know, the rind and all that great stuff until you expose the membranes and all that great stuff. And you just wanna take supremes, which are the pieces in between the membrane dealies, and you get these nice little peely things. They're shaped like a moon dish thingy. And then you want to take your sugar cookie base and your buttercream icing, and you're going to put some on there. You don't want to put a whole bunch so it weighs the cookie down or takes away from the flavor of the fruit. You just want to put some on, and you want to leave a crust because once again, this is a pizza. You want to have a crust so you have something to grasp onto. And just make it all pretty. And you can do whatever design you want. It doesn't matter because it is your design. And you just want to get your icing on there. You don't want too thick. You don't want it too thin. Just right. And that is about right. And I have a design in mind that I'm going to use. But you can use whatever design you want. And since it is the winter, you can, you know, make flowers or birds if you're talented. I don't know, I'm not talented, so I'm not gonna do birds. I'm gonna do flowers. Put some spring cheer in the winter icky months. And you just wanna make a pretty design that gives you some color, and it just looks really, really pretty. Take some oranges. And it's also, it's not the healthiest thing, but you got fruit in there, so that's a good thing. You know, you don't want to be eating a whole bunch of sugar over the holidays. Eek. Do. And this is your fruit pizza.
Hi, my name is Hillary, and since it's the holiday season, I'm going to show you how to make a gingerbread house. You can buy gingerbread at the store, or you can make it your own. You want to take the front of it and get your icing. You put this on a wet cloth to keep the icing from hardening. And you want to take the bottom and squeeze this out. Here, I'll use the other one. That one's too hard. And put on the bottom. And then you decide whichever you want, the front or the back. And then you place it where you want it. And then you take the side. The smaller piece that's straight into a rectangle, that'll be your side piece. And if you're doing the small one, you want your side piece to come out on the side of the front. So you're going to put the icing on these sides and place it right here like this, so that it conjoins the front and the side. Then you want to go, keep doing this until you make the total base. This can take a long time, especially if you're not all that strong like me. And then you want to put the back on. And most likely you're going to want to put the smooth side on the outside to make it a more finished look. But it's really up to you because it is your decoration in your house. Slide this right into here. And if the icing spills out, that's okay because you're going to put candy on it. And this is what the base will look like when you have that all done. Kind of looks like a little shack. That's what I think it looks like. And then you want to put the roof pieces on, which are the bigger pieces. And you want to make sure that they're going to line up, and then you want to put the icing on the base. You can also make your own icing, which is 4 cups of sifted confection sugar. It's about a pound of the confection sugar. 3 level teaspoons of meringue powder, and 6 tablespoons of water. You beat all the ingredients together for about 2-3 minutes just to get it, and then you want it to be a pretty stiff piece, kind of like toothpaste, so it can be like the frosting concrete, as I like to call it. So it'll all stay together and you don't have to worry about it falling apart while you're assembling it. And there's the house. Now you can use any kind of candy. You can use Red Hots, Nerds, soft candies, any candy that you like that you think that'll look good on your house. I have some Nerds here. I have some soft peppermints. I have some Smarties, Skittles. And then you just want to put the icing on wherever you want to decorate. And here I'm going to put the loop of the candy cane right here to make the door. How cute. And then you can decorate all over the house. You can decorate the top of the roof with, Skittles. It doesn't really matter. It's all up to it. Anybody can be an artist when you're making this because it's your own house. You can make a driveway. You can make a walkway. All you have to do is squirt out your icing where you want the walkway to be, and then you can take whatever candy you would like and drop it onto it. And this way you can personalize it. You can make little sticks with paper and stick it into the base, and it can say Happy Holidays. It can have your family's name on it. It's a really neat way, and you're making this for decoration, but you can also eat it because everything you use except for the base is edible. It's really nice. And you can decorate the roof, do zigzags, whatever. And you can decorate with candy or whatever. And then you can decorate all the space that you have. If you think, hey, I have no time to make the whole house, you can also use a little pattern for an ornament. And this is the pattern for this. And all you have to do is put some icing to make the roof, and then a wall, and you can make your door, you can make a window, which is pretty easy. And you decorate it just the same. You take the candy and you put it on there. And that is how, and like you can use these gummies right here for wreaths. You can also use these gummies if they're smaller. You can put the wreath on there or whatever. And it's all up to you. You are the artist, and I hope you enjoy this holiday season.
Hi, my name is Tony. We're here at Jefferson College today, and today I'm going to create an entree for you. It's an encrusted salmon with a cilantro lime butter, and I'm going to do some asparagus with a hollandaise sauce, and we're going to do, for starch, we're going to do risotto with some Boursin cheese and scallions mixed in. Okay, so let's get started. Over here we have one that has already been encrusted, and I have two more pieces that I'm going to encrust for you and show you how that's done. The crust is right here, and it's a combination of garlic, cilantro, some basil. We have some pine nuts in there, salt and pepper, and some dill. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna take this salmon, my crust. You want to try and even this out as much as possible so it can cook evenly. Okay, now you see how I did that? I pressed it into the fish, but you don't want to go real hard because you don't want to mash the fish. And speaking of fish, when you're in the market and you're buying fish, especially fresh fish, you want to look for a nice color. You want to make sure it's fresh. There's no real slimy feel to it, and it doesn't have a foul odor to it as well. So I'm going to encrust this one as well. And we're going to cook all three pieces at the same time. Back here, I have a skillet. Well, with about 4 to 5 tablespoons of virgin olive oil. And we're going to sear this in the salmon in the skillet, and then we're going to finish it in the oven. You want to start by taking the fish that you encrusted, and you want to put it crust side down first. You want to keep a real close eye on the fish. You don't want it to stick or burn. And you'll see the edges as the fish is cooking. The salmon is going to change color. Now you can see this salmon changing color somewhat along the edges and the borders here. Right along this area and in here. So what you want to do is, very carefully, because this is encrusted, you want to try and get underneath the salmon and flip it over. And as you can see, your crust is going to stay to the fish because it's been seared to the fish. Okay? You want to do that to all three pieces. And try to be as careful as possible because you don't want to knock off your crust on your fish. Okay, there you go. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that in the oven for about 15 minutes. Now what we're going to do is, what I've done, I made some Boursin cheese and risotto rice here for you. Risotto rice is a very hardcore, very thick, outer shell type of rice. This is cooked basically in chicken stock, and you may have to cook it and reduce it maybe 2 or 3 times before you can actually get the rice to soften up for you to where you want it to be the right consistency and taste. Also, I've added in some salt, pepper. I've added in some onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of hot sauce, and a touch of Worcestershire, and I finished it off with some scallions. In the back over here, I have a little chicken stock, which is what you want to use, but I'm going to heat this up a little bit, okay? Also for a vegetable today, we're going to do some sauteed asparagus or some grilled asparagus. And we're going to coat it, and I have some, in this bowl here, I have some extra virgin olive oil, I have a little bit of garlic, I have some salt, and I have some pepper. And what I'm going to do is just take my asparagus, put them in a bowl, just going to give it a little toss. I'm going to give the asparagus a nice little coating. And then we're going to put them on the grill. We're going to use our Boursin cheese over here and a risotto rice. And we're going to do a little molding. This is straight a cookie cutter. This size, I'm using this size for this size plate. You can use whatever shape you want. I have an oval one for this particular one. There's also, they sell them in rounds, round shapes, various sizes. Almost anything you want, you obtain. So I'm going to take some of my rice and I'm going to put it in here. The Boursin cheese serves as actually a twofold purpose. It gives the risotto a nice flavor, and it also helps you that when you are molding your rice, the cheese is going to help you hold your rice together. Then we have our asparagus, and we're going to lay those out. And we're going to go ahead and plate these fish. See, as you can see, as I even pick it up, the fish is starting to flake as it is. So it tells you that the fish is done. We're going to lean it right up against our risotto. Now I got a few more things I'm going to show you to help finish this plate. What I have here next is some hollandaise sauce that I made. Hollandaise sauce is not very hard to make. It's basically made with egg yolks. It's made with egg yolks, butter, some white wine, salt, pepper. I put a little paprika in and some lemon juice. This is a little bit gotten stiff on me, so what I can do is I'm going to cut it a little bit with some chicken stock. Okay, we have our hollandaise sauce, and we're going to take a little bit of a spoon here. We're going to put some on our asparagus right across the tips. And last but not least, I've made a little bit of a butter for you. This is a butter that's just plain unsalted butter. I added a little salt and pepper, some lime juice, lime zest, and cilantro. It's a cilantro lime zest butter. And the thing about this, you can put this in a piping bag, you put it in your refrigerator, you can bring it out whenever you want to, or what you could do is get some parchment paper, you could roll it into a log, and you can freeze it and make it into a compound butter, which is real convenient. Then you can just take it out of the freezer and use it anytime you want to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little bit of a rosette to every little fish here. And that's it. You have your starch, you have your fish, your vegetable, and for a finishing touch, we're going to add a few capers. And there you are, gentlemen.
Hi, my name is Danny Smith, and I'm doing plate decorations and a plate setting. Show you first how to fold the candle fold to the middle, over the edge, crease, long ways, start with the corner nearest you, and just start rolling. Tighter the better. Take the last little corner piece here, tuck it in, stand it up, fold the little part over, and there's your candle for your napkin. Next, you want to grab a ruler, and you want it 1 inch from the base table, so everything's lined up correctly. Start with your base plate. Usually there's a design of some sort on it. Picking the triangular section so it makes sure it faces the chair. Next, you grab the dinner plate and kind of line it, put it inside your base plate, line it up with the little marks here. Your water glass, tea glass, white wine glass is what I like to use, and measure it up with the right little slash on the base plate here. They're kind of diagonal. Next, you'll want your silverware. Fork has 4 letters, so it goes on the left. Left has 4 letters also. Knife has 5, right has 5, and it goes closest to the plate. Spoon has 5 on the right also. Your B&B plate, your bread and butter plate. There's a little design on it, so I pick that and put it on the left little line here. Your B&B knife across the plate. Spoon handle to the right, fork handle to the left, napkin in the middle. And that's how you do a plate setting